Greetings, my dear friends. One of the finest dishes I've ever had in my life is festive cabbage rolls with meat and mushrooms, without rice, infused with the aroma of homemade smoked meats, which give them a perfected taste that stays in your heart forever. They will always haunt you with memories of the unique Ukrainian cuisine. The recipe is quite simple, and each of you can treat your loved ones to this delicious and festive mood. Cabbage rolls are one of the most traditional dishes of Ukrainian cuisine. We're used to making them with lots of rice, but not in this version. These are festive Carpathian-style cabbage rolls, with meat and mushrooms, cooked with chunks of smoked pork knuckle. So the main ingredient here is pork. We take 1 kilogram with some fat streaks. Pork has a rich flavor and texture that beautifully enhances and balances the taste of the finished rolls. Mushrooms, 500 grams. We use kozariki, boletus, which we boil and freeze ahead of time for such dishes or salads. First, we prepare the filling. Run all the meat through a meat grinder, using a medium grind plate. Pork is most commonly used for cabbage rolls because it's tasty and juicy enough, but it's all about personal preference, so feel free to experiment and use whatever meat you like, or even mix different types together. Along with the meat, we grind 2 onions. They must be in the mix, as they add flavor and aroma, help retain moisture, and make the filling juicier. Also grind in 4 garlic cloves. You can't skip them. Garlic brings a fragrant, spicy, and unique aroma that highlights the flavor of the meat and other filling ingredients. Now we season the ground meat. Add salt, about 8 to 10 grams per 1 kilogram of meat, or roughly 2 level teaspoons. That's the amount that makes the meat well seasoned, but not overly salty. Add black ground pepper for a bit of spicy heat. Mix everything thoroughly to ensure even distribution of the salt, pepper, and onion throughout the meat. In the past, millet was often used as the base for cabbage roll fillings, or in the Carpathians, it was replaced with corn grits. In Poltava, they used buckwheat, and only for special occasions did they make them with meat filling. Later, cabbage rolls began to be stuffed with a mix of rice and meat, simmered with tomato juice, sauce, or paste. Once the filling is well mixed, you'll feel its dense texture in your hands. That's exactly how it should be. This way, the cabbage rolls will hold their shape during cooking. Next, we dice an onion into small cubes. Sautéing vegetables for a meat filling helps reduce excess moisture, which, in turn, prevents the cabbage rolls from falling apart while cooking. Heat a pan well with some vegetable oil and add the onion to fry. Sauté the onion for about 2 to 3 minutes. Onion is a universal and widely used ingredient in many dishes. Thanks to its spicy flavor and aroma, it not only enhances the meat's taste, but also supports its texture. Then, add 1 carrot, grated on a coarse grater. Mix everything and continue cooking the vegetables until soft. The originality of cabbage rolls in our region is endless, and the taste is so unique that it stays with you for a long time. Now we add the mushrooms to the onion-carrot sauté. As I mentioned earlier, our mushrooms come from the freezer. We always boil them in salted water before freezing. We sauté them now to release excess moisture and preserve their texture. This makes them very flavorful. These aren't the only mushrooms you can use. It all depends on your preferences and what's available. For example, we love to cook with fresh or dried porcini mushrooms, and especially with chanterelles. They have a delicate flavor that's hard to match with other varieties. It all depends on the gifts of nature around you. While the mushrooms are frying, we'll prep the cabbage for rolling. Personally, I think cabbage rolls made with fermented cabbage are the best kind of tangy treat for the winter and spring months. They're not only delicious, but also very healthy. The amount of vitamins in cabbage during this time is unmatched. Separate the cabbage into leaves. The core is already trimmed, since the cabbage is fermented without it, so that the brine can get between the leaves and ferment them all the way through. Trim the thick veins from each leaf. This makes it easier to roll them up neatly and tightly. You don't need to boil the sauerkraut leaves. They're ready to use. Only if the cabbage is too sour, briefly soak the leaves in boiling water for 5 minutes to reduce the acidity. Don't forget to stir the mushrooms occasionally. The mushrooms are very aromatic. They'll bring lightness and tenderness to the filling, enhancing its flavor and nutritional value. Near the end of cooking, season them with salt to taste. The abundance of mushrooms in the Carpathians makes them a staple in many dishes. For locals, they're part of everyday meals. As soon as the sauté with mushrooms is ready and still hot, we add it to the meat mixture. The smell is rich and mouth-watering. These particular mushrooms have a deep aroma, and if you use fresh mushrooms, it will be incredibly tasty. Mix everything thoroughly so the sauté and mushrooms are absorbed into the meat and evenly distributed. Ukrainian cuisine is rich in festive traditions, and these cabbage rolls with sauerkraut, meat, and mushrooms were always present on the Christmas table, Easter table, and at other special celebrations. Slowly stewed in the oven, they turned out incredibly fragrant. Cabbage rolls are a beloved dish in Ukrainian cuisine, hearty, delicious, and passed down from generation to generation. And cabbage rolls with meat but without rice are especially unique, tasting quite different. The filling turns out deeply meaty, rich, and aromatic. We always taste the prepared filling. At this stage, it should already taste good to you, well salted and well seasoned. Now it's time to prepare the pot where they'll cook. For this, we'll need some wooden beech sticks, because in the past, our grandmothers didn't have pots with thick bottoms, and cabbage rolls simmered in ovens for hours. To prevent burning, these sticks were a clever trick. They protected the rolls from direct heat and helped distribute warmth more evenly during cooking. With the sticks, you also don't need to line the bottom with cabbage leaves. Just make sure the sticks are clean and free of additives so they don't affect food safety. Now it's time for our smoked pork knuckle. This is a delicious addition that gives the dish a deeper taste and aroma. Since it has a strong smoky scent, there's no need to use too many other spices. You don't want to overpower that smokiness. Slice the knuckle and add it in pieces to the pot. Place some on the bottom and layer others between the cabbage rolls. The mushrooms will soak up the aroma like sponges and infuse every roll from within. Another reason these rolls are so festive is thanks to the addition of smoked meats, which were usually prepared before the holidays. You can also use smoked pork belly or pieces of tenderloin, but pork knuckle works best for this purpose. From the pork knuckle, we slice off the entire smoked top layer, which includes the skin, fat, and meat. This combination will give juiciness to the cabbage rolls and intensify their flavor, while the remaining bone can be used to make soups. So smoked pork knuckle is a versatile product. Cooking with it is always a win. Now we spread the sliced pieces over the beech sticks, covering them completely. They will serve as a perfect base, and there's no need to add any extra fat. The knuckle will do the job, infusing the rolls not only with flavor, but also a wonderful smoky aroma. Did you know that the name Holubtsi translates as little doves or pigeon breasts? This comes from the appearance of the dish and refers to the old tradition of cooking pigeons, wrapped in cabbage leaves and roasted on a spit. Later, the bird was replaced with chopped meat and mushrooms. Now we move to the most fun part, rolling the cabbage leaves. Cut the large leaves in half, starting from the top, softer part. This way, the split will be even. Place a spoonful of filling on one end and roll it up tightly like a little envelope, folding where the leaf was cut to form a pointed tip and tucking the top edges inward. It turns into a neat, tidy parcel. I'm sure everyone has rolled something similar when shelling sunflower seeds. Don't skimp on the filling. Add a generous amount, because we're making cabbage rolls, not dumplings. Nowadays, there are many ways to wrap cabbage rolls. In the past, for example, on the left bank and in southern Ukraine, they used to be made very large, using a whole cabbage leaf. In the Carpathians, the leaves were divided into smaller pieces. A woman who made large rolls was considered lazy. And from my experience, I wouldn't recommend making cabbage rolls too big and thick. Medium-sized ones cook evenly and are much easier and more pleasant to eat. After neatly placing the first layer of cabbage rolls, we top them again with pieces of smoked pork knuckle. As you can imagine, these rolls will surely take first place on your list of favorite dishes. They already look so delicious that you just have to make them. We arrange them tightly next to each other so that they don't open or lose their shape during cooking. Rolled this way, the cabbage rolls come out about the same size, all neat and even, and they'll cook uniformly. If the sizes vary, the small ones will be ready much sooner than the large ones, which affects the overall taste. Next, we pour hot, salted to taste water over the rolls. Pour enough so the top layer is completely covered. While cooking, the water will reduce by almost half. Place a plate on top to press them down, and if needed, add more water. The plate helps the rolls steam better and slows down evaporation. Put the pot on the stove and bring it to a boil. Cover with a lid, reduce the heat, and simmer for 1 hour. You'll know they're ready when the cabbage is tender. That means the filling is cooked too. Turn off the heat, but don't open the lid. Let the cabbage rolls rest and absorb flavors for another 10 to 15 minutes. Our festive Carpathian-style cabbage rolls with meat and mushrooms are done. Can't wait to taste them. The smoked pork knuckle has filled the kitchen with its aroma, and the rolls are all tidy, whole, small, juicy, and tempting. It's impossible to resist. And I say this without exaggeration. These cabbage rolls are not only tasty, but also nutritious. Cabbage is full of vitamins and minerals, while meat and mushrooms are rich in protein and other nutrients. So if you haven't yet tried Carpathian cabbage rolls with meat and mushrooms, you must cook this hearty, flavorful, and wholesome dish. Of course, you can make them with fresh cabbage too, but adding smoked meat is essential for that deep taste during cooking. Don't forget to serve the smoked knuckle pieces. Not only has the cabbage soaked them with flavor, but in the tangy environment, the meat becomes even more tender and soft. That's why cabbage rolls, made with ground meat or whole meat, wrapped in fermented cabbage leaves, turn out exceptionally delicate. Everything comes together harmoniously, and the taste is truly amazing. These rolls are a top favorite, so juicy, aromatic, and satisfying that it's hard to believe. I feel like once you make them, you won't need to think about what to eat next. They keep you full and happy. Just looking at them already feels comforting. In general, cabbage rolls are a key part of Ukrainian cuisine. Their recipes are passed down through generations, preserving Ukraine's culinary traditions and cultural heritage. As the saying goes, every hostess has her own borscht and her own cabbage rolls. We especially love serving them with a dollop of sour cream.